Welcome to Inside IAS Academy. Today I'm going to take you on a fascinating journey to Ajanta Caves. This session is a part of Indian art, history and heritage, particularly the World Heritage Sites of India. When Indian sites started getting included in the list of World Heritage Sites of UNESCO, Ajanta Caves were part of the first group. I'll tell you so many unknown things about these caves today in this session, and this will help you in getting better hold over the topic of art and architecture, as well as this will make you feel proud about Indian past. Dear friends, there are 30 caves at Ajanta cut on the face of this hill. If you look at the hill here, this is a kind of horseshoe shape or U-shape kind of face of the hill, and beneath the hill there is a river called Viharas river that is flowing here. These caves were cut over a period of centuries, starting in 2nd century BC, and the last caves were cut in around 7th or 8th centuries. Local rulers such as Satavahanas initially, later on Vakatakas, patronized these caves or the cutting of these caves. Rich merchants, rich traders who used to pass through this area because this was falling on the trade routes connecting India with interiors and the coastal ports. So when merchants used to come from North India to Patan, from Ujjain to Patan or from Ujjain to this west coast, so they used to stay here, they used to take rest, and they used to get lessons in ethics and morality from Buddhist monks. These caves are the finest examples of Indian rich, diverse architecture, history and heritage. Have you ever wondered why these caves are known as Ajanta Caves? There is a village called Ajanta located nearby to these caves, and on the name of that village, Ajanta, these caves are known as Ajanta Caves. These caves were forgotten by people in between, not by the locals. Locals always knew them, but by the ruling class, by the prominent intellectuals, they have forgotten these caves. These caves were discovered in 1819 by Captain John Smith. On 20th April 1819, Captain John Smith was leading a hunting party. He was chasing a tiger in this area. He was an officer with Madras Army. So when he was chasing this tiger entered into bushes. And his friends, his team members tried to find the tiger and they could not. Then there was a boy, shepherd boy, roaming nearby. They asked him, "Have you seen the tiger?" And he's told that the tiger has entered the cave here because the locals knew the cave. So Captain John Smith tried to clear the bushes from in front of the cave, and he found there was a beautiful monument, and this was cave number 10 at Ajanta. And you must be amazed to know that cave number 10 at Ajanta is also the oldest cave. This was the first cave to be cut here under the patronage of Satavahanas in 2nd century BC. So bushes were cleared. Captain John Smith got hold of the villagers because the British people, they were thinking themselves as the masters, and he went to the nearby village. He ordered the villagers to come up with their local tools. With the help of those villagers, the bushes were cleared, the caves started becoming visible, and that time this wonder of ancient Indians came in front of the modern world. Captain John Smith was no lover of heritage. He carved out his name by ruining the beautiful sculpture of Bodhisattva. You can see here, he carved out his name and destroyed this sculpture of Bodhisattva. He was no lover. He was a plunderer. He was a looter, the way other British were there. In 1822, William Askin, he was a prominent scholar. He was a part of British Indian administration. He wrote a paper on these caves, and then international community started getting attracted towards them because nobody had seen such kind of marvel of architecture existing anywhere in the world till that time. Everyone was amazed to see that how such massive caves were cut with primitive tools, and this is 76-meter long U-shape or horseshoe-shaped face of the hill. There's a river flowing beneath it, that is the Viharas river. So on the face of this Viharas river, 29 plus 1, 29 finished caves and 1 unfinished cave, 30 caves were cut by ancient artisans and craftsmen. These caves have paintings, these caves have beautiful sculptures. Let me tell you more about them. The caves at Ajanta are divided into two phases. The first phase of these caves were cut at the time of Satavahanas, when Satavahanas were ruling in Deccan from say 2nd century BC to around 2nd century AD, and these early caves belong to Hinayana Buddhism. The later caves were cut under the patronage of Vakatakas or in Gupta period during 5th, 6th, 7th centuries, and those caves belong to the Mahayana sect of Buddhism. What is the difference between Hinayana and Mahayana caves? How can you really find out which cave is of Hinayana, which cave is of Mahayana? If you study Buddhism, you'll get to know that Hinayana Buddhists used to consider Buddha as a teacher. They used to worship Buddhist symbols. They never worshipped Buddha's sculptures. They never treated Buddha as a god. The Mahayanists used to consider Buddha as a god, and they used to worship the sculptures of Buddha. So in the caves we find Buddhist symbols, stupas, or empty throne, or the wheel, or the elephant, or the horse. These caves belong to Hinayana Buddhism. And in the caves we find Buddhist sculptures, beautiful sculptures of Buddha and Bodhisattvas. Those caves belong to Mahayana Buddhism. So early caves belong to Hinayana Buddhism, and later caves belong to Mahayana Buddhism. The Hinayana caves were cut under the patronage of Satavahanas or in Satavahana period, which are much older than the later caves. And the later caves were cut under the patronage of Vakatakas. Vakatakas emerged as a prominent dynasty in Deccan after the decline of Satavahanas. Out of these 30 caves, 5 caves are Chaityas and 25 are Viharas. The 30th unfinished cave is also a Chaitya, so there are 4 fully built, well-decorated Chaityas, and 1 is half-built Chaitya. 25 caves are Viharas. What is the meaning of Chaityas and Viharas? Chaitya means a place of worship, where Buddhist monks used to worship. So Chaitya will have either sculptures or the stupa. Older Chaityas will have stupa, and later Chaityas will have sculptures of Buddha, which were worshipped by the Buddhist monks as well as the followers of Buddhism. What is the meaning of Vihara? Vihara was a place where Buddhist monks used to reside. So Vihara was a place of residence of monks, and Viharas also used to work as centers of education. The Buddhist disciples used to receive learning here. Merchants and traders who used to pass through this, because this area was located on major trade routes connecting hinterland of India with west coast ports. So when merchants used to pass through this, say from Paitan, Pratishthan or Ujjain, they will come, they will take rest here. They will take rest, they will sit with Buddhist monks, they will receive knowledge, wisdom, and they will make donations. The donations of these merchants patronized Buddhist monks as well as the craftsmen. So most of the donation involved in the construction of these caves was coming from merchants and traders, because this area was actively involved in Indian external trade. This was at a very, very strategically important point from where merchants had to pass to reach the ports of West, say Sopara, or other ports located on west coast of today's Maharashtra. So these generations of craftsmen kept on working day after day to make these beautiful caves. If you look at the significance of these caves are important not only as piece of architecture, but they're also important for their sculptures and for their paintings. Cave number 1 has paintings of Bodhisattvas, and particularly the Padampani Bodhisattva and the Vajrapani Bodhisattva. Have a look here. Padampani means lotus-bearing Bodhisattva, and Vajrapani means the thunderbolt-bearing Bodhisattva. Vajra means thunderbolt. The cave number 1 also has a scene called Persian Embassy scene, in which King Pulkesin II of Chalukyan dynasty is welcoming the embassy sent by Persian King Khusro II. So Persian ambassador, if you can see here, is standing, and King Pulkesin II is sitting in his court and is welcoming this embassy. Cave number 16 has a beautiful painting of dying princess, in which Sundari is depicted in a very sorrow mood. Sundari was the wife of Buddha's cousin Nanda. Nanda decided to leave his home, and that's why Sundari is in a very sad mood. She is unhappy, she is repenting, she is expressing her sorrow that her husband is leaving home and he is joining Buddha. Cave number 17 has the most beautiful painting among all. This is known as the painting of mother and child. This painting depicts Buddha his wife Yashoda and their son Rahul. Buddha left his home in the middle of night without telling his wife or his son. So after roaming around, after getting enlightened, he comes back to his home for the first time. And when he comes back to his home for the first time, that scene is depicted here in this painting. This is mother and child. Buddha knocks at the door. His wife Yashoda comes out. Try to imagine. His wife Yashoda comes out and she's shocked. So initially for a few moments he was shocked, and then she started shouting at Buddha like a normal lady would do. That, where did you go? How did you leave us? Did you never think about us? You left in the middle of night. You did not even inform us that you want to leave. You want to renounce the worldly life. Buddha kept on standing firm. He was smiling. He was listening. When she stopped shouting, he said, Devi, your person was Siddhartha. The person who used to live with you, your husband was Siddhartha, and I am Buddha. I am not Siddhartha. He was a different person. I am a different person. So you have every right to be angry at him, but I am not that. I am Buddha. He was Siddhartha. So when she realized, oh, this person had changed fundamentally, he is no longer the same, she gathered her senses and she brought a gift from inside and she gave him bhiksha. So he took bhiksha and he went away. So this is a very, very emotional scene, meeting Buddha with his wife and son after many years. These paintings have been accepted among the world's finest paintings. These paintings, sculptures, and the architectural features of these caves. Have a look here. The caves are not only single story, some caves are double story, and some caves are even triple story. For the first time, triple story caves were cut in India at Ajanta. For the first time, double story caves were cut at Karli. Karli is also a place located nearby and is famous for Buddhist cave architecture. At Karli, for the first time, double story caves were cut. At Ajanta, for the first time, triple story caves were cut. Think with normal tools, chisel and hammer, craftsmen working without getting tired and carving out beautiful caves, beautiful sculpture, beautiful arches and gateways. That's the beauty of Ajanta Caves. The beauty of these caves, the attention, the attraction of foreigners as well as Indians compelled the government of Bombay that time to have serious attention to them. So Bombay government set up a commission called Bombay Cave Temple Commission in 1848 under John Wilson. And this commission became the basis for the establishment of later Archaeological Survey of India in 1861. So Archaeological Survey of India was also triggered into action, was also triggered into existence by the attention, by the scholarly attraction generated by discovery of Ajanta Caves. These caves were included in UNESCO's World Heritage Site list in 1983, along with Ellora Caves, along with Taj Mahal and the Agra Fort. The inclusion of Ajanta Caves in UNESCO's World Heritage Site list have attracted millions of tourists. Even before the inclusion in 1983, these caves were very, very popular among tourists. Even in pre-independence times, in 1920s, Nizam Osman Ali Khan of Hyderabad. You know, these caves were not in Bombay, British Bombay. These caves were located, Aurangabad was a part of Hyderabad state, Hyderabad princely state before independence. So these Ajanta caves were located in Aurangabad, part of Hyderabad state, or in former princely state of Hyderabad. So in 1920, the Nizam Osman Ali Khan decided to encash the popularity of Ajanta caves by building roads, access ways, so that tourists could come, and he started charging a fee. The rush of tourists was so high that the caves could not be protected. Damages started becoming visible everywhere. Later on, to restore the paintings which were found in these caves, Nizam hired Italian experts. And these experts were used, Count Orsini and Cecchini. These experts were used by him to restore the paintings. And today, whatever the paintings we see, these beautiful paintings have survived till today, largely because of the efforts, largely because of the investment, largely because of the realization of his mistake by Nizam Osman Ali Khan, because his decision to allow tourists on large number to just make money had adversely affected the security of these caves, had affected the survival of these caves, and many damages were inflicted that time. So, dear friends, you must be proud of the beauty of Ajanta Caves. And this is one of the reasons why I feel so great about our country, India. I'm proud of India and hope you are proud of India too. So, learn more about these caves and keep on enriching your knowledge. If you have any other doubt in your mind, feel free to write me in the comment section and I'll be happy to respond. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Keep learning. Keep moving ahead.